and namaste everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself Nilesh Shah, and this is the 7th video of ETABS tutorial series that we are continuing with. 7 means this is the second last video because we are going to end this series with the 8th video. Okay, so up to now we have completed our structural analysis portion of the ETABS, and all of our concrete members passed the design check in the previous video. Now we'll look upon some criteria to know whether our building is safe to be designed or not. That we are going to see some of the results that we got through our analysis in the ETABS. Is it under the safe criteria or not? Can we use the section properties that we have provided for our design purpose or not? So let me see. Let us see now, and before that let me again run the analysis. So if you had missed in the last video, you can see here how can we run our analysis. First we should check our model. We should select all. Okay, so here we have got the message model has been checked, no warning message were generated. So now we can proceed with our run analysis. So what does it mean is the beam, column, slab that we have assigned here is all assigned properly. There is not any error in that. And now we will go to analyze and now set load cases to run, and make sure that you have take this calculate diaphragm centers of rigidity. So why do you need to tick this? I will tell you later on. So run now. You can see here our building has been analyzed, and because of the stress strain that are acting due to the load applied on the building, you can see the deformations in the beam, in the slabs, in the columns, in everything there is some of the deflections. So now to look upon the criteria, what we need to do is we will go to display, then story response plots, and from here make it large, or you can cancel this. You cancel this window, you can enlarge this window. Okay, so from here we have maximum story displacement, right? And the case or combination is date given here, so we will make it EQX because we are checking for the earthquake loads, and we have given EQX. Now you can see the maximum is 10.81788 mm. Okay, so what should be the limit? According to our code 1893, the maximum limit should be 0.004 times the building height. Our building height is what? 16.002. Our building height is 16.002, and if we do the criteria check, so it will be 0.004 times into 16.002, which will give the 64.008 mm. So the maximum limit is 64.008, but what we are getting? We are getting 10.81788. Similarly, in the y direction, earthquake load in the y direction, we are getting 11.915 mm, but the limit is 64.008. so what does it mean? It means our building is safe in maximum story displacement. Similarly, we will check out for maximum story drift. In maximum story drift in the EQY direction, what you can see is the maximum is 0.00112 mm, and in the x direction what you can see is the maximum value is 0.001054. So what should be the maximum limit? The maximum limit should be 0.004 into story height. Story height means that from the base to a story 1. Yeah, here the value, here you can see the value is 0.000762. okay, so the maximum limit is 0.004 into a story height. Story height is 3.2004. so after making it 0.004 times, what we get is we get 0.01 5.28 meter. So this is also in our limit. So our building is safe in maximum story drifts and maximum story displacement. So we have checked one thing, and now we need to check for center of mass and center of rigidity. So you all might know what is center of mass and what is center of rigidity. Okay, so center of mass, what does it mean? It means a point where all the load, all the weight of this floor is assumed to be concentrated, that all the weight of this floor is assumed to be acted on this point. Okay, acted on this point to downwards. So that is the center of mass. And if we talk about the center of stiffness or center of rigidity, it is that point through which the building resists the lateral force. It is the point through which the lateral force passes. And how can we get the information about center of mass and center of rigidity? So for that we will go to display in show tables. In show tables, let me tell you one thing. This is the ETABS version 2018. So the user interface of this version and the version below 2018 are different somewhat here. So we may get confused. So I'm providing you the steps how to see those results in the versions older than 2018. So you can prefer here. Now in 2018 version, to see the results, first what you do is, here you can see analysis results. In analysis results, you can go to structure output. In structure output, in model information, you can see, in model information, if you expand this model information, you can see model participating mass ratios. So we will tick here, and then we will expand other output items. So in other output items, we can see centers of mass and center of rigidity. Yeah, so I will tick here also. So first we will see these two informations based on our analysis. So you can see here the table for story 1, 2, 3, story 4 and story 5. So diaphragm is all given here, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. And yeah, here you can see the center of mass, the coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate, 7.9625 and 5.2821. But here what you can see is center of rigidity, the coordinates of center of rigidity are empty here. Why? Because in diaphragm section, if you remember what we have assigned, semi-rigid. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, the center of rigidity is only applicable for rigid diaphragms, because in-plane slab deformation is variable across laterally loaded semi-rigid diaphragms. So the center of rigidity will not be shown in semi-rigid diaphragms. That's why we are not getting here. But in another version, if you remember, during the set load cases to run, I have told you to tick one thing. Okay, so if you don't tick one thing, then you will not get these values even in rigid diaphragms. But after checking that, you will get these values in rigid diaphragms but not in semi-rigid diaphragms. But we will get XCM, that is center of mass coordinates here. And after that, what we can see the modal participating mass ratios. In modal participating mass ratios, what you will see is, in model 12, all the mass of the building should have participated. Okay, that is 100% should be the participation. It should be 1 or approximately 1 here during the model 12. So there is approximately 1 here, 0.9832, 0.9852 is approximately 1. You can see the values. Okay, so the values should be 1 or approximately equal to 1. And these are the period in second you can see here. If we get the values like 0.000 or in so many digits, after point you will see many zeros, then that is wrongly analyzed or we have done something wrong. But these are normal time periods. So what does it mean? It means our analysis is correct and we have designed good. And yeah, the thing to be considered here is it should be 1 or approximately equal to 1. So now we have seen the center of mass, center of rigidity and modal mass participating ratios. And now having seen all that, now we will move to how to visualize the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram. Okay, so for that what you can do is to show the axial force coming on the column, first you go here, this display frame Pier Sprandl link forces or simply F8. You can click on this and click on combo. In combo we will select envelope here, because we will get all the maximum and minimum values of all the load combinations that we have defined earlier. But what I suggest is, for designing purpose, do not ever use envelope. The reason I will say in the description box. But to visualize the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram, we will use envelope, because it will give the maximum and minimum value of all the load combinations that we have defined earlier. And now in the component section we will select axial force. Scaling should be automatic. And now give it field diagram, also values at controlling stations and diagram. You will see the diagram of axial force diagram here in field diagram, and you will see the values in this portion. Now include frames, apply, okay. So what you can see here is, you can see the axial force diagram. Axial force diagram is maximum here at the base, and slowly as the story height is increasing, the axial force diagram is decreasing. Yeah, we all know, because the base shear, the shear force is maximum, the force coming from upward is maximum on the base shear because of the weight of the building. So if you get your axial force like this, your analysis is correct. So, and if you want to see the axial force diagram for a particular column, so you can go and select any of the column, then right click there, right click on any of them, and now you can see the axial force diagram here. So giving the we have load combination of envelope, so it will give the maximum and minimum value. Okay, so here is show max, and if you do scroll for values, what you will see is, you will see the different values at different position. Here this is the position is showing here, and the maximum and minimum value is showing here. Okay, so you can see like this. But if you tick here on show max, you will get the maximum value. So maximum value is 742.3099 kilonewton, and the minimum value is minus 1499.1982 kilonewton. These are the maximum and minimum value. The negative sign is because the force is acting in the downward direction. So the maximum, irrespective of the sign, the magnitude will be taken as the maximum value. So in this way you can see the axial force diagram of and axial force values for all the columns one by one. Okay, so in this way you can see the axial force diagram and axial force values for all the columns. So now what we will do is, we will go for the beam, we will select this again, and let the combo be envelope, because it will give the maximum and minimum value. And now we will select the bending moment 33. Bending moment 33 is this is the bending moment coming on the beam, which is maximum, and in bending moment 22, the moment coming on the beam, which is minor. Okay, so this is automatic field diagram, and apply. So you can see here the bending moment diagram is the bending moment diagram has appeared on our screen. Now if you want to see the bending moment diagram of individual beams, now you can click on right click again there, so you can see the maximum and minimum value of each and every beam in each load combination. So if you want to change, you can change your load combination from here, but for the time being, let it be envelope. So the components are saying measure, that is V2, and M3, that is measure shear force and measure bending moment. But if you want to see another thing, that is minor, V3 and M2 and axial PNT, you can view everything from here also. So you can see the maximum and minimum value of bending moment here. And if you want to this is for shear force and this is for bending moment. But if you want to scroll the for values, then you can just click here and scroll for the values. On each and every position you will get the maximum and minimum value, but let it be so max. Done. So in this way you can see the bending moment diagram and axial force diagram of columns and beams. So in the next video we will be seeing how to extract data from ETABS and how to use the maximum value for the design purpose. So for now I would like to leave, and I will catch you up in the next video. Thank you. Stay tuned for more videos, and yeah, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.